Bonjour les humains, nous sommes le 29 septembre 2025. Je vous demanderai de bien lire les sous-titres et de bien retenir les nombres et chiffres qui vont être évoqués. C'est parti. Et bien entendu, j'ai un problème de connexion.
I'm confident that religious leaders will do their utmost to prevent the world's descent into the abyss of chaos. We already observe such inspiring examples on the global level. The Congress of the Leaders of World and Traditional Religions, the Document of Human Fraternity, the Mecca Declaration, Bahrain Dialogue Forum, the Abrahamic Family House in the United Emirates.
Kazakhstan is considered one of the most fitting places to bring together religious leaders. It's a country where more than 100 ethnic groups and 18 religious denominations have coexisted peacefully, a harmony that has been a point of pride since the country's independence. The 8th Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions is taking place at two iconic venues in Kazakhstan's capital, Astana. The Palace of Peace and Reconciliation, built specifically for this gathering almost 20 years ago, and the Independence Palace, both standing as symbols of equality, unity, and constructive dialogue for humanity. This year's Congress is centered on synergy for the future, a message seen as vital in today's turbulent world. 100 delegations from 60 countries have gathered here. Leaders of Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and other faiths took part in the plenary session alongside President Tokayev. The key expectation is turning spiritual diplomacy into a force for building peace worldwide.
It is very important to find new ways, new mechanisms to mitigate problems in the world. Kazakhstan considers that spiritual diplomacy could be an effective instrument in this context because spiritual diplomacy has huge potential. 80% of world's population identify themselves with a religion or religious organization.
Global conflict surfaced at the Congress, shifting the tone of discussion. Against the backdrop of the UN's recognition of Israel's actions in Gaza as genocide, the voices of Judaic organizations stood out. Israel's chief Ashkenazi rabbi, Kalman Meir-Ber, recalled October 7, 2023, urging fellow leaders to call for the release of hostages. These appeals also raised a larger question: how to channel grief into dialogue.
لقد أثبتت التجارب أن للقادة الروحيين أثراً مهماً في الدور الاستراتيجي للحضور الديني أو ما يسمى بالدبلوماسية الدينية الروحية الخلاقة، وذلك عبر الحوار والوساطة والمصالحة في إطارها المتاح دينياً وروحياً.
For the first time, the UN Alliance of Civilizations held a session at the Congress on protecting religious sites. With threats grown in conflict zones, the alliance is mapping places of worship worldwide. Kazakhstan itself is home to many, including the mausoleum of Hoja Ahmed Yasawi, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and Biketata in Mangistau, while in war-torn regions, such heritage remains at risk.
Unfortunately, in the world, you know that where is war, there's destruction. We had some events in the war between Ukraine and Russia, but now we are, of course, in the Middle East. And in the Middle East, unfortunately, we have seen, you know, the tragedy in Gaza, how even Catholic Church, even some mosques have been destroyed, and that it cannot be, you know, acceptable.
Alongside these concerns came broader appeals from international leaders. In a video message to the plenary session, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres reminded delegates that differences can be a source of strength. A letter from Pope Leo XIV was also read to the participants.
So it is a moment of darkness, but where religious leaders can really contribute with solidarity. Holiness is telling that solidarity is the synergy in action. We work together, especially with the religious impulse. We can send positive messages and make this world better with our common efforts to work together.
Over 3 days, the Congress featured bilateral meetings and expert roundtables, with President Tokayev presenting honorary medals to delegation heads. It concluded with the Astana Declaration of Peace, calling for interreligious dialogue and joint action against hate and violence. The 9th Congress is set to take place in Astana in 2028.
Voilà donc l'endroit. Il y a bien une pyramide. Ça se trouve au Kazakhstan, à Astana, anagramme de Satana. Le 8e congrès, donc 8e, finalité, ce n'est certainement pas le règne du Christ, dont le chiffre est 8, donc encore un vol de code. Il y a eu 18 représentants, ou des représentants de 18 religions, je ne sais plus trop. Vous relirez les sous-titres au besoin. Bref, 3 fois 6, de 60 pays, encore un 6. Et ça s'est passé le 17, enfin entre le 17 septembre 2025, donc 17, 1 plus 7, 8, et le 18 septembre 2025, donc encore 3 fois 6. Voilà donc la preuve de l'élaboration d'une religion mondiale. Donc 8e congrès, donc apparemment, à mon avis, il n'y en aura pas d'autres, on verra bien, hein. Mais normalement ça devrait être le dernier, pour mettre fin aux guerres et établir la religion mondiale, justement pour qu'il n'y ait plus de guerre de religion, avec à sa tête l'Antichrist, comme c'est prévu. Donc un grand merci à la personne qui m'a donné accès à cette vidéo. Nous avons tous besoin les uns des autres. Cette vidéo sera dans la playlist Gog et Magog et Évidence versus Scepticisme, essentiellement, hein, playlist que je mettrai en description de cette vidéo. Il ne faut pas se révolter, la révolte est prévue, c'est quelque chose de voulu, de calculé. Allez voir ma playlist, le gouvernement mondial de l'Antichrist. Il faut tout faire pour suivre au maximum les directives du Christ. Lisez la Bible. À la prochaine et que Yahweh vous guide.